Hello there guys, and welcome back to more Planet Coaster. We are back here in our Sandbox park, picking things up quite a bit after where we left off last time, I'm going to be honest. As you can see, this park is absolutely heaving. We've got 940 guests, and we haven't even got a single ride. That is crazy. That is crazy. And it seems like we're getting some more people stuck here. Not exactly sure what's going on there, but let's just move these guys real quick. You can just click on move group and stick them back down there on the path. So we'll close that. And as you can see, this is just the final touches that I put to the Trump Tower after the last episode. I've apologize that the last episode ended so abruptly. I did actually intend to show you all of this stuff that I was building after the time lapse, but when it actually came to putting the video together, I found that it was just far too long to put into one video. So I ended up just cutting it out, and I figured because you guys have pretty much seen me do the exact same thing over here, over at these apartment blocks, it's pretty much the exact same thing, but just in a different building. I figured, you know, we'll just leave that, and then we will we'll recap it on it in the next episode. So that's that. I think it looks pretty nice. I love how these signs look up here, and I think they just really add a nice little bit of detail that this building did need. So I'm really happy with that actually. And I also did an absolute bunch of work on this building over here, and I'm just being careful with the camera here because I don't want to spoil something for you that I've done just behind the camera here. If you actually watched my video on Tuesday, the video on, sorry, no, it wasn't Tuesday, was it? It was on Wednesday. If you watched the video on Wednesday that I did, the tutorial video about how to build big and fast in Planet Coaster, then you've probably seen what I'm about to show you already, but yeah, so this is what I've been doing. I've done an absolute ton of detail work around here. As you can see, all this stuff didn't exist before, and all around here as well. And I think it just sets it off so well. It looks so much nicer now. I went all the way up to the top and did all this detail work. I'm still just being a bit careful with the camera, because I don't want to spoil what's just behind there. But I think it looks amazing. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out, and I love how the detail work has fit in with this right here. And I even went up top as well and did a bit of detail work here as well. And yeah, it looks really cool, I think. And again, at the back here as well, I did this fire exit going on. This is all true to life as well, by the way. This is all stuff that you will find if you look at a photo of the original building. And I think it looks great. And speaking of the original buildings, I think we're going to kind of do a bit of a comparison later on in this episode. But first of all, so that I can actually kind of move my camera around and I'm not restricted to where I'm looking here, basically I've been doing a lot of work off camera on a brand new building. I figured because it's a relatively simple building really, I didn't want to show it all in an episode, and I had a bit of free time at the weekend, but I couldn't actually record the voiceover for it, so I basically recorded the me building the if I can get my words out here, I basically recorded me building the building, and yeah, I've basically recorded that. So I'm gonna run a time lapse of that build right now for you, and I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay then guys, so there we have it, and you've now seen the time lapse, so I can look in this direction and reveal the building to you, and I think it looks really cool. I'm really happy with how it's turned out, and yeah, I mean, it looks really good. I had an idea for it initially, and I was hoping that I could kind of curve this front facade here. It's actually a copy of, or I'm trying to replicate here, what's called the W.R. Grace building in New York, another building in New York, and I believe it's actually on 5th Avenue as well, which is similar to the Trump Tower, and I believe this building as well is on 5th Avenue. I was kind of trying to go for that theme going down here, and it's called W.R. Grace building if you're interested, and it actually has a curved facade here. And I thought I could do this by building each of these sections down here as a separate building and then rotating it using the advanced move and duplicate tool. But unfortunately what I found is when I came to do this, if I hit X right now, then you can see here, if I go on to rotate, you can only rotate along this axis with the advanced move and duplicate tool on a building. So unfortunately that wasn't an idea that I could carry through into the final build, but I think I made it work in the end. I mean, it looks a little bit blocky, but it still has the same effect, I think, and I'm really pleased with how it turns out. It just adds a bit more variety to the park overall, and I think it fits in nicely, so I'm really pleased with it. The only thing that I'm not too massive about is the fact that I can't find a piece to fill in this section right here. So I'm kind of going to hope that something changes in the future, or I don't know, maybe I'll get sick of it and just put anything in there. But I think for now I'm just going to leave that until I find a piece that's suitable. And obviously we've got to finish up down here, but we can do that at a later stage. In real life it's got a bunch of shops down here, so we could potentially do that again. So we'll see about that one as well. And I did actually add in some shops down here as well. I don't think I showed you that before the time lapse. And yeah, that is where we're at currently. So like I said earlier on, actually, I do want to do kind of a bit of a real life comparison here. So I don't know if any of you guys out there have been on to Google and checked out what any of these buildings do look like in real life. But I think we're gonna do a bit of a comparison right here. I'm just looking for the photos here on my computer, so I apologize if I'm kind of half here right now. But I'm just trying to set this time and bring up the photos on my computer. Okay, so first of all, basically want to do a comparison of this building. So if I just go up here, I'm gonna try and replicate this camera angle here on this photo I've got. Okay, so if I kind of fly up like this, and it's kind of a little bit flat on, so yeah, I think it's about like this. Something like that. But yeah, I'm going to bring the picture up on screen now, so you guys should be able to see that now. And what do you think? I think it compares pretty well, actually. If I zoom out a little bit, actually, and I'll get rid of the photo, and I'll put the picture back up now that you can see a bit more. I realized I was a little bit close there, but what do you think? I think it looks pretty damn close to the real thing. So yeah, really happy with that. Really happy. And let's just do another one from kind of down low, just so you can kind of see the bottom area of what this looks like. And I'm gonna throw the picture up on the screen right about now. So as you can see, it still looks pretty similar. I could actually do with chucking on a couple of flags, actually. That would probably finish it off quite nicely. So I'm going to do that a little bit later on. But yeah, what do you think? I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy with it. And let's do the same over here. I haven't got quite as good of a photo for the Trump Tower here, but I mean, it's a fairly plain-ish building. It has far less detail than this building over here. And yeah, so I think the camera angle is something like this. Let me just double check on the photo on my other screen here. Yeah, there we go. So like I say, I mean, it's not the greatest photo in the world, but it does the job, and you should be able to see it on the screen right now. I think it compares pretty nicely. I think it does, and like I say, there's not really that much going on around the back of it to warrant another photo, but yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. So once again, this building right here, that's the Trump Tower, and then this red one is the I've completely forgotten the name of it now. It's the Fred French building, or the Fred R French building. Sorry, no, I tell a lie. It's the Fred F French building. So lots of F's, F, F, F. There you go. And then this building finally, and let's just kind of get the angle right here. It's a bit more difficult to show on Planet Coaster, as you don't quite get as wide a field of view as you can get on with some camera lenses. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to throw the picture up on the screen now. This is probably the least like the original, but I think it's still got that same sort of feel to it, and I think it works really well. Let me know what you guys think. And again, this building, for those interested, it's called the W.R. Grace building. And just a fun fact for you, actually, just while we're on the subject of this building is actually our biggest build in terms of objects, and in fact height actually as well. So yeah, in fact, no, it's not. I think it's a little bit smaller than the Trump Tower, but it's got way more objects. It's got 6,384 objects, which is a crazy amount. Even this building, which has a ton of detail here, this has 5,082. So yeah, that's pretty crazy, I think. And I thought, honestly, when I was building this W.R. Grace building, it was going to have way less objects than this one, to be honest, because this has got so many different parts to it. If I go in here and I show you kind of here, this is an individual part here. This part is an individual part. Obviously, all the windows are individual. These are all individual parts right here. And then these are as well. And there's just so many different individual bits on this building. I thought this was going to have more than this, but turns out not. So there you have it. So what I want to do next is I do actually want to wrap up the episode. We are reaching that wrapping up point, unfortunately. But we have got a lot done in this episode. We've built this huge building here, and I do love it. You know, I really like it. And if I zoom out here, check this out. Look how awesome this park is looking, and this main street. I actually don't know if I mentioned this to you in the last episode, but I was actually thinking of stopping the main street just after these two buildings. I was thinking of doing one more skyscraper at the back here and then kind of leaving it be. But I thought, look, after looking at a few pictures of New York, so all the avenues in New York, you can see so far down them, and you really get that kind of tunnel effect when you look down it with all the tall buildings to the, whoa, excuse me. Okay, so the camera is going absolutely mental right now. It seems to go really fast 1 minute and then slow the next, which is very weird. But anyway, so yeah, you get this really kind of tunnel effect when you look down the avenues, and I kind of wanted to get at least some of that feel going on here. And I don't think we would have got that if I'd left it, you know, where we got up to in the last episode. So I'm happy that we're carrying on here with the theme. I do think I'm going to end it after these two buildings here. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this one on the left here in a couple of moments. But yeah, I think I'm going to end the main street just here. I think I'm going to put a building in the center here. And that is going to be the centerpiece, really, of the park. And it's going to be really the biggest landmark that will be in the park. And you should be able to see it from all around. And that's what I think I'm going to do. As I'm saying this right now, I do kind of still feel like it would be really cool to just have this main street run all the way up to the back of the park. I think that would be really cool, to be honest. But it's going to be so much work. It's going to be an absolute ton of work to do that. Each of these buildings is taking me anywhere between half an hour and this thing right here, it must have taken about 5 hours in total to do all the detailing and everything on it. And granted, this really only took, I think, 40 minutes. This probably took about an hour and a half. And I am getting faster. Excuse me, I am getting faster at doing them. But like I say, it's going to be a ton of work to do this going all the way to the back. As you can see, the park boundaries all the way back here. So it's quite a far distance to come. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that, actually. I'd love to hear. And like I said, I am kind of swaying towards doing that, but at the same time, I'm kind of scared by the amount of work it is to do. But I guess what we could do is we could kind of break it up a bit. I do kind of have this mentality at the moment that we need to finish the main street before we can do anything else. But we don't do it. We can kind of break it off, and we can, you know, I could potentially do this building at the end and cap it off for now. And then if we want to at a later stage, we could carry on going towards the back of the park. But I would like one building to be in the center just as a kind of centerpiece. That would be a cool idea as well. I'm not going to tell you what building I want to build in the center yet. That's going to be a surprise for when that comes round. But let me know your thoughts on that. And I know I am waffling on a bit here, and unfortunately for you guys, that is just what I do sometimes, so I apologize for that. But I just want to talk very briefly about this last building before we wrap things up here. This is going to be a new building that I'm going to put right in this spot here. It's called Rockefeller. Sorry, it's not. It's called 30 Rockefeller Plaza, or sometimes referred to as 30 Rock. Some of you may have heard of it, some of you may have not. Apparently, it is quite a well-known skyscraper throughout the world. But before I went to New York, I'd not heard of it, to be honest. But it is a very cool-looking building. It looks very modern for the time that it was built. It was built in the 1930s. In fact, much like this was built in the 30s, and I believe this was built actually in the 30s as well. So, yeah, there's quite a lot of modern stuff going on in New York in the 30s, to be fair. But yeah, it's a really striking looking building. It really does encompass that Art Deco style that a lot of buildings in New York have, much like this does. And I mean, this even hints at it as well. And some of you may know it if you're American. You may know it for because of the fact that they actually broadcast Saturday Night Live from in this building. And it's I believe it's now been renamed to the Comcast Tower. I think there's something to do with the NBC News Network. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know that much about the American media, but that's what it's called now. I believe it used to be called the GE building as well. That had the GE signage on top of it for quite some time. It was only recently removed. And before that, it was called something else, and I just totally can't remember that right now. So that's that, and I'm going to be working on that in the next episode. I'm not going to do that in between episodes. I'm going to work on that with you guys. I don't think it should take too long from the stuff that I've looked at already. It's kind of similar in terms of the tiering to it as this building, but it's nowhere near as complex as this. It is the same on both sides, so it's sort of symmetrical, so it should be a bit easier to put together than that was. So we'll do that together in next episode. And I think what I'm going to do as well is, if you have a look on Google, if you look up Rockefeller Plaza, there's actually a couple of other smaller buildings that are actually at the front here. So there's 2 smaller buildings there, and I think I might do those as well. I'll probably do those after we've built this, though, off camera. And in fact, one other thing you might know this building for, it's where they have the humongous Christmas tree and the ice skating rink. They have that, and I think that's appeared in a lot of films. I think it's in Home Alone, one of the Home Alone films. Right at the end, he meets his mother there, and that is this building here. It's just below this building. So there you go. A few facts and a bit of trivia for you there to close off the episode. So I do hope you've enjoyed this, and I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this in the next episode. Leave a like if you are liking how the main street is going so far, and if you want me to continue doing these huge builds. Let me know in the comments as well what you think we should do, whether we should cap this off or carry on. Be really interested to hear your thoughts on that. So once again, thank you very much for watching, and if you're not already, hit that subscribe button for more videos like this, and you can check the playlist in the description or on the end screen for any videos that you may have missed from this series. So once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.